Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual IV. It's Wednesday, and I'm Pastor André Campbell, and I'm the host of Spiritual IV. Today, I'd like to talk with you about getting your house in order. I want to encourage all of us to get our houses in order. As we look around at our world today, we see so many things happening. There's so many distractions, and I constantly talk about distractions because we can be caught up in a hypnotic glare and a hypnotic grip that causes us to miss a lot of what's going on. And so I want to read from the book of Luke, chapter 17, and just share a little thought with you today about getting our house in order. Luke chapter 17, verse 26 and onward. It says, "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all." I want to just remind us that with all that's going on in our world today, with all of the buying and selling, that there's the greatest wealth transfer is taking place in our world today. And that's not just people willing things, inheriting things, willing things to their children or their loved ones, or people inheriting wealth. That means that people are actually transitioning from the former things that people used to invest in on the stock market, the ways that we invested in real estate, the ways that people bought gold and silver, whatever things that they invested in, those are changing to new forms of investment. Real estate is shifting. The way that people will invest in real estate is already shifting. There are some companies coming together that are saying, hey, the roommate economy is upon us. And so they're looking for multi-unit, multi-family properties, and all sorts of things are shifting. The money that we use is shifting. Everybody was wondering what this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and Ethereum and all these terms that we're hearing, decentralized finance and all these things are happening. And our world is truly changing. And we talked about that last week when we talked about can we achieve metanoia in the metaverse. I hope some of you will go back and listen to that. But the truth is, we can learn all of these things. We can recognize all of these things. But are we, in the midst of this, are we getting our house in order? Are we paying attention? Back in the book of Isaiah, we didn't put that up today, but in the book of Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah spoke to Hezekiah and warned him, told him that God had told him that he was going to get his house in order, get his family, get his house, get everything in order, because he was going to die. And then he went and he pled with God. He pleaded with God. And God spared him, sent the prophet back to tell him, you're not going to die. You're going to get 15 more years. And I'm not here to determine how much longer we have before the return of Christ. But what I do want to say is, let's not be so blinded by what's going on in the world. Let's know what's going on so that we can operate. But let's decide that we're going to slow down and we're going to pay attention to the things that need to be paid attention to. I'll say it this way. Some people say, well, the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. But the Bible also says, be like the ant. And the ant that recognizes that winter is coming prepares and plans for it. I want us to slow down enough that we can break that hypnotic rhythm of life, that we can stop and actually make some plans. I'm going to be very frank today. Are you preparing by storing away food and other reserve things that your family would need? Are you recognizing that not only are food shortages upon us, but that food prices are spiking? And even if if we're able to avoid the food shortages, it still would be wise to buy tomorrow's food at today's prices. So I want to encourage us, all of these things spiritually. Let's get our houses in order. Emotionally, let's get our houses in order. Let's spend some quality time with our loved ones. I know we just came out of the holidays, and some of us, we were home, but we barely spent any time with our children or our spouses. Let's get our houses in order, and so that we can be ready to face what this world is heading into. We'll talk some more about it in some other episodes of Spiritual IV, but today I just want to plant that seed. Begin to slow down, stop, and look around. Don't just get right back into the humdrum of another year, the humdrum or the rotation of another year, the busyness of another year. But this time, say to the Lord, I want to begin to get things in order. He will help you. His Spirit will help you. God bless you. I'll see you next week on another episode of Spiritual IV.
In the middle of the week, with the word once more. If you feel a little weak, this is Spiritual IV. In the middle of the week, with the word once more. If you feel a little weak, this is Spiritual IV.